Hi, I'm Reid, editor of Designing Lighting magazine, and we are here at Light and Building in Frankfurt, and I am joined by Szymon Slupik of Silvair. And Szymon, I first interviewed you at a show I loved, Lux Live, how many years ago?
Oh, I'm too old to remember.
Okay, 4 or 5
4 or
years
5
ago,
years, yes.
we sat down, and that was where I first learned about Silvair. So tell our audience a little bit about what you guys are doing now.
Yeah, we are we are providing lighting controls software. It may be a new normal for the lighting industry that software becomes such an important part of that, but controls are basically becoming de facto add-on for any lighting product, and now controls are entirely powered by software. The hardware part in the controls are most of the time just commodity, right? Because the software really defines what it does and how it does it do well, what it is supposed to be doing, and so
I think of you guys as a lot of Bluetooth mesh. Is that fair?
that's very fair.
Okay. You're the leaders.
Yes,
in it.
we
And what is it, BLE 5.0?
yeah, the nomenclature is a little bit more complicated, but
Okay.
let's say Bluetooth mesh, and we like to say the qualified Bluetooth mesh because that's behind the standard, which is offered by Bluetooth Special Interest Group. There is the whole qualification program, which really takes care of product quality as well as entitling people who implement the technology to all the intellectual property involved in that.
And you were one of the first ones on the Bluetooth SIG, if I
Yes,
recall.
yes. We actually founded that development back in 2014, so it's been 8 years now, pushing that forward with, I would say, great success.
Okay. One objection that I hear, at least in the U.S., is that the government will not use wireless controls because of security. What's your answer to that?
I think they are already using that in many places.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's like fear of flying, I would say. Like many people
That's
don't.
a good analogy.
Many people don't fly because heavy objects don't stay in the air for long, and wireless is the same. How can you do securely without wires? And I think so. From the technology perspective and the underlying software perspective, you can do things right or wrong, and definitely the way security has been specified in Bluetooth mesh is super right. I mean, it's one, by the way, super important aspect of wireless security is that this whole system specification must be open, because it's the only way for anyone to really see how it's done, how it's architected, and whether it has any conceptual gaps, whether it has any procedural gaps, whether it has any technological gaps. So with an open standard, which is a prerequisite for proper security, now anyone can take the specs from Bluetooth and scrutinize them, go through them, analyze them, and see if from the specification perspective everything is put in place as it should be, right? You cannot do that with any proprietary vendor closed system because it's a black box. They can tell you all stories about how secure it is. What you see is only the black box outside, and it's a matter of trust. Like with open standards, you have ways to actually check.
Trust and verify.
Trust and verify.
Okay. I know that you're strong in the U.S., you're strong in the U.K. Where else do we see Silvair?
So, North America definitely, and Europe have been our key markets. They are very different, as many of you know, from the structure of the market and also from the technology and standards perspective. So. In Europe, we have a very good, fruitful partnership with Osram, which of course is a tier 1 brand.
I want to back up. with AMS Osram or Osram Digital that is being sold to Inventronics?
Osram Digital, yes.
Okay, because they're here at the show.
They are there.
Okay.
They are also showing their products. The product using Bluetooth technology by Osram Inventronics is called HubSense. So they are showing the HubSense product. It's been on the market for about 3 years now.
Okay.
And they are also showing that on DALI Alliance booth. So I wanted to mention DALI because that's this European angle in what we are doing, and you know, markets, technology. So in Europe we've been mostly wireless interface to DALI products, because in Europe everything is DALI, right? In the US it's the opposite. I mean,
well, we hear it's changing. I was at a conference last week and Lutron spoke, and Lutron says they're behind DALI 2.0 now. They're supporting DALI 2.0. I don't know the difference. What is DALI 2.0 and why is that better?
So DALI 2.0 brings, I would say, two super important developments to DALI. Number one is they do certification, proper certification. So for any product to claim DALI 2, it must go through very thorough testing procedure.
Okay.
And that really, you know, that is the most important a move done by DALI some time ago to improve on that situation that had been before with DALI 1. We had many products which really had difficulties working together or working at all sometimes. So DALI 2 is mostly about quality and mostly about interoperability, and it delivers. Now, the second enhancement that DALI 2 brings to the table, which I very like from the technology perspective, is that, you know, DALI bus, which is 2 wires. They are polarity free, so it doesn't matter which order you connect them. They carry digital signals back and forth.
Okay.
But with DALI 2, they also carry power. So it's kind of like with USB.
So DALI 1, they don't carry power.
No.
But DALI 2, they do carry power.
Yes.
Okay.
So with DALI 2, with those 2 wires, which we call DALI 2 bus, you can power accessory, like a sensor or a wireless node. It super simplifies the whole setup because it's just 2 wires. Any order, this or that. Super simple.
Okay.
With traditional, like in North America, we still have predominantly 0 to 10 analog dimming. So there are basically 2 issues with that. One is that it's only one direction. You can dim the light, but you cannot read anything from the light. Like with DALI, we can read about 150 different parameters, like temperatures, runtime hours, you know, maintenance.
Do you see DALI finally coming to America now? And being...
Well, I don't see anything else on the horizon, to be honest, and I see so many advantages that I believe that ultimately it will come, although it will take some time.
In the US, most will tell you that controls have not taken off the way that we thought controls would be accepted. Do you find that in the UK and in Europe as well, or do you have higher penetration rates here?
I think the rates are a little bit higher, and I think we are now at this pivotal point where really controls start being accepted. And you know, the key problem with controls historically had been that controls were expensive, and didn't work.
Right. And they couldn't be commissioned easy.
Yeah. So even if you commission them, they stopped working after some time, right? So like people were trying, if possible, like not to use controls. Now, 2 things have happened since then. One is that the technology got much better. So like, especially with Bluetooth, like the ease of use, ease of commissioning is like another galaxy, right? Because all it takes is a phone app. Everybody knows how to use
Bluetooth.
Yeah, it's there. You don't need any special equipment. So your app talks to this network, does everything automatically. Now, the second thing is it's super reliable. So despite all this fear of flying, right? They like with Bluetooth Mesh, you can say it's reached controls, wireless controls have reached this level of like commercial air travel, right? That people travel in millions and nothing happens, and it's the safest and the most convenient way. And the last thing, which is recent, is this whole focus on energy. Controls do save energy, and return on investment is a no-brainer. So if you have something that is affordable, easy to use, reliable, and you have good ROI, then you have all the ingredients for controls to finally pick up. That's my interpretation of where we are.
You know, with the global situation as it is, with Russia and Ukraine, energy rates are spiking right now.
Yes.
So it becomes even more important.
Yeah, exactly.
Controls and even a faster payback.
Yeah. So energy savings through controls is the absolutely key driving force on this market today.
Well, some would argue in the U.S. the key driver of the market is the government. It is California and Top 24, but that is the key driver pushing it.
That really depends on the state, because some states like California are way in front and they push the boundaries, and that's really very good for the industry. The other are behind, but in the end, I think, you know, controls are no longer considered something very extra on special request by a customer. They become kind of a default proposition in lighting.
And they need to. They need to. Okay. Well, Simon, very nice talking with you, and thank you for sitting down with me.
Thank you, Randy.